Daf Yomi, Tractate Sanhedrin, page 38b, top of the page. Actually, it was in the middle of a brisa, so let's start from the bottom of 38a, bottom of the page with the word Tanya. Haya Rabbi Meir Omer, Adam Rishon Mikol Ha'olam Kulo, Hutzbar Afaro, שנאמר גולמי ראו עיניך וכתיב כי השם עיניו משוטטות בכל הארץ. אמר רב אושיע משמיד רב אדם הראשון. Okay, it is taught in Braita that Rameir would say the dust that served to form Adam, the first man, was gathered from the entire world, as it is stated, when I was made in secret and wrought in the lowest places of the earth, your eyes did see my unshaped flesh. Psalms 139, 15 and 16. And it is written, for the eyes of the Lord run to and fro throughout the whole earth, 2 Chronicles 16:9, indicating that this figure was formed from the whole earth, the place within the view of the Lord's eyes. Rav Oshia says, in the name of Rav, with regard to Adam, the first man, that brings us to top of 38b, the words Gufo mi Bavel, Virosho me'eretz Yisrael, v'yavarav misharatzot, Agvotav, Amar Rav Acha, me'akra de'agama. His torso was fashioned from dust taken from Babylonia, and his head was fashioned from dust taken from Eretz Yisrael, the most important land, and his limbs were fashioned from dust taken from the rest of the lands of the world. With regard to his buttocks, didn't see that one coming. Regards to his buttocks, didn't see that one coming. Rav Acha says they were fashioned from dust taken from Akra de Agma, on the outskirts of Babylonia. Okay. How did he know that? I don't know. Mi'akra de Agma. Agvotav. Okay. Amar Rabbi Yochanan bar Chanina, 12 שעות הביא היום. שעה ראשונה הוסבר אפרו, שנייה נעשה גוירם, שליש נמתחו איבריו, רביעית נזרקה בו נשמה, חמישית עמד על רגליו, שישית קרא שמות, שביעית נזדגבה לא חווה, שמינית עלו למיטה 2 ויורדו 4, תשעית נצטווה שלא לאכול מן האילן, עשירית סרח, 11 נידון, 12 נטרד והלך לו, שנאמר אדם ביקר בר ילין. אדם ביקר בל ילין. Let's see, that might be a good gematria to have. Adam bikar bal yalin, 489. Okay, it's another place. Rabbi Yochanan bar Chanina says daytime is 12 hours long, and the day Adam, the first man, was created was divided as follows. In the first hour of the day his dust was gathered, in the second an undefined figure was fashioned, in the third his limbs were extended, in the fourth a soul was cast into him, in the fifth he stood on his legs, in the sixth he called the creatures by the names he gave them, in the seventh Eve was paired with him, in the eighth they arose to the bed 2 and descended 4, meaning Cain and Abel were immediately born. In the ninth he was commanded not to eat of the tree of knowledge. In the 10th he sinned. In the 11th he was judged. In the 12th he was expelled and left the Garden of Eden, as it is stated, but man abides not in honor. He is like the beasts that perish. Psalms 49:13. Adam did not abide, meaning sleep in a place of honor, even for one night. Amar Rami bar Chama, Ein chaya ra'a sholetet ba'adam, ela im ken nidma lo kebahima. Shne'emar nimshal kebahimot nidmu. Rami bar Chama says, in explanation of the end of the verse, a wild animal does not have the power over a person unless that person seems to the wild animal like an animal. As it is stated, he is like the beasts that perish. Sha'a besof arami siman. The Gemara presents a mnemonic for the statements that follow, meaning that these are the siman, the signs, at the time, to the end, and Aramaic. And these are like a mnemonic to signify each of the following subjects. Rabbi Yehuda says that Rav says, at the time. This is at the time. At the time, the Holy One, blessed be He. So, Amar Yehuda Marav Bishash Bikesh HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Levrot et ha'adam barakat achat shel malchi hasharet. Amar lehem retzonechem nasa adam betzalmeinu. Amar amru lefanav. Ribono shel olam, ma ma'asav. Amar lehem kach v'kach ma'asav. At the time that the Holy One Blessed be He sought to create a person, He created one group of ministering angels. He said to them, if you agree, let us fashion a person in our image. The angels said before Him, Master of the universe, what are the actions of this person you suggest to create? God said to them, his actions are such and such according to human nature. Amru lefanav ribono shel olam ma enosh ki tizkarenu b'nadam k'tizkedenu. O shitesbat o katana b'neihen usrafam. V'chein kat shniya kat shlishit amru lefanav ribono shel olam ראשונים שמרו לפניך מה הועילו. כל המגולות שלך הוא. כל מה שאתה רוצה לעשות בעולמך עשה. The angel said before him, Master of the universe, what is man that you are mindful of him, and the son of man that you think of him? Psalms 8:5. Meaning that a creature such as this is not worth creating. God outstretched a small finger among them and burned them with fire. And the same occurred with a second group of angels. The third group of angels that he asked said before him, Master of the universe, the first two groups who spoke their mind before you, what did they accomplish? The entire world is yours. Whatever you wish to do in your world, do. God then created the first person. כיוון שהגיע ליד שידור המבול, יד שידור הפלגה, שמעשיהם ליכוד קלין, אמרו לפניו ריבונו של עולם. לא יפה אמרו ראשונים לפניך, אמרו להם ועד זקנה אני הוא, ועד צבע אני אסבול. When history arrived at the time of the people of the generation of the flood and the people of the generation of the dispersion, being the Tower of Babel, whose actions were ruinous, meaning they were evil, the angels said before God, Master of the universe, didn't the first set of angels speak appropriately before you? Human beings are not worthy of having been created. And God said to them concerning humanity, even to your old age I am the same, and even to your hoar hairs will I suffer you. I have made and I will bear, and I will carry and I will deliver you. Isaiah 46 verse 4. Meaning, having created people, I will even suffer their flaws. Amar Rav Yehuda Rav Adam Rishon Misof Haolam Yad Sofo Haya Shne'emar Lemin Hayom Asher Bara Elohim Adam Al Haaretz ולמקצה השמיים יד קצה השמיים. כיוון שסרח הניח הקדוש ברוך הוא ידו עליו ומידתו שנאמר אחורה וקדם סרטני ותשית עלי כפיך. Rabbi Yehuda says that Rav says Adam, the first man, spanned from one end of the world until the other, as it is stated, since the day that God created man upon the earth, and from one end of heaven to the other, Deuteronomy 4:32, meaning that on the day Adam was created, he spanned from one end of the heavens until the other. Once Adam sinned, the Holy One, blessed be He, placed His hand upon him and diminished him, as it is stated, behind and before you have created me and laid your hand upon me. Psalms 139 verse 5. That at first Adam spanned behind and before, meaning everywhere, and then God laid His hand on him and diminished him. Amar Rabbi Elazar, Adam harishon min haaretz ad rakia haya, shneimar lebin hayom asher bara Elohim Adam al haaretz ולקצי השמיים לקצי השמיים, כיוון שזרח הנה הקדוש ברוך הוא ידו עליו ומידתו, שנאמר, אחור וגדם צרתני, קשו קראי הדדי, אידי ואידי חד עמידה היא. Okay, Rabbi Elazar says, the height of Adam, the first man, was from the ground until the firmament. As it is stated, since the day that God created man upon the earth, and from the day, and from the one end of heaven unto the other, Adam stood upon the earth, and rose to the end of the heavens. Once Adam sinned, the Holy One, blessed be He, placed His hand on him and diminished him, as it is stated, behind and before you have created me, and laid your hand upon me. The Gemara asks, the interpretation of the verses contradict each other. The first interpretation is that the size was from one end of the world to the other, and the other interpretation is that it was from the earth until the heavens. The Gemara answers this and that, from one end of the world to another, and from the earth until the heavens are one measure, meaning the same distance. Well, here's the Aramaic part. Arami Siper Shene'emar Veli Mayakrud Reachael. And Rav Yehuda says, Rav says, Adam, the first man, spoke in the language of Aramaic, as it is stated in the chapter of Psalms, speaking in the voice of Adam. How weighty also are your thoughts to me, O God. Psalms 139:17. I'm not sure, this is Hebrew, this is not Aramaic. I'm not sure how they're gathering that, but okay. Behind Dam Reish Lakish, my dichtiv zes Sefer Toldot Adam, Milam Asher Baruch Hu, דור ודורשיו, דור וחכמיו. כיוון שהגיע לדורו של רבי עקיבא, שמח בתורתו, ונעצה במידתו, אמר ולי מה יקרו ריח האל. And this, meaning the verse that in Psalms stated by Adam, is what Reish Lakish says. What is the meaning of that which is written? This is the book of the generations of Adam, Genesis 5:1. This verse teaches that the Holy One, blessed be He, showed Adam every generation and its Torah interpreters, every generation and its wise ones. When he arrived at his vision of the generation of Rabbi Akiva, Adam was gladdened by his Torah and saddened by his manner of death. He said, how weighty also are your thoughts to me, O God. In other words, how it weighs upon me that a man as great as Rabbi Akiva should suffer. שנאמר ויקרא השם אלוקים אל האדם ויאמר לו אייכה נטה ליבך. רבי יצחק אמר מושך בעורלתו היה כתיבה והמה כאדם עברו ברית וכתיבה אדם את בריתי הפר. And Rav Yehuda says that Rav says Adam, the first man, was a heretic, as it is stated, and the Lord called to the man and said to him, where are you? Genesis 3:9, meaning, to where has your heart turned? Indicating that Adam turned to the path of truth. Rabbi Yitzchak says, he was one who drew his foreskin forward, so as to remove any indication he was circumcised. It is written here, and they, like men, Adam, have transgressed the covenant, Hosea 6:7. And it is written there, and the uncircumcised male, who is not circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin, that soul shall be cut off from his people. He has broken my covenant, Genesis 17:14. Rav Nachman Amar, Kofar v'ikar hayam. Ketiv ha'avru brit, ketiv hatam et briti efer. V'amru al asher azu et brit Hashem, Eloi avotam. Rav Nachman says he was a denier of the fundamental principle of belief in God. As written here, and they, like men, have transgressed the covenant. And it is written there, he has broken my covenant. And it is written in the third verse, and then they shall answer, because they have forsaken the covenant of the Lord their God, and worshipped other gods and served them. Jeremiah 22:9. Tan Hosam. Tanan Hosam. Rabbi Lazar Omer, Avishakul lilmud Torah v'damad shita shel apikoires. Maybe I'll do this as part 2, because the other daf was quite long. It was 26 minutes. And now we're holding by how long? We're holding by 17 minutes. It's already up there. Yeah, we'll stop it here.